All right, so we are here to discuss the Chiefs versus the Bengals NFL Week 17. Now, obviously, knowing the final score of the Bengals defeating the Chiefs 34-31, that is not how we wanted the game to go whatsoever. Not even close. First of all, the loss kind of stinks because now with the Titans defeating the Dolphins and the Titans because they own the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, the number 1 seed is pretty close to out of reach, I would say, just because the Titans play the Texans next week. I mean, the Chiefs play the Broncos, but I mean, both of those teams, they're probably going to win. Like, we know that the Chiefs will probably beat the Broncos, the Titans will probably beat the Texans. But just as a whole, this game is not what the Chiefs needed whatsoever for their number 1 seed hope. So it looks like for the first time in the Mahomes era, the Chiefs will be playing on Wild Card Weekend, which is it'll be fine. They play at Arrowhead, so at least they'll get that home field boost in that first wild card game, hopefully gain some momentum for the rest of the playoffs. But this game as a whole, it was fun. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the referees in this game. Now, yes, I can admit the refs were terrible in this game. They stunk. They were really, really bad. There was some bad pass interference calls that went against the Chiefs. There was some bad false starts that they didn't call in this game. I mean, some people were even questioning the holding penalty on the Byron Pringle kickoff return that went for a touchdown. A lot of people were complaining about those calls, and I think it's rightfully so. Like, those calls were bad. However, I don't think they changed the outcome of this game much, if not any at all, if you ask me. Because I have to keep my same standard to this as I did with the Browns and the Packers game on Christmas. People were telling me that the refs cost them that game, and I said, no, they didn't. The Browns made too many mistakes. Baker Mayfield threw way too many interceptions. Just the Browns as a whole, they made too many mistakes to win that game, and when they had the chance to win it, they made mistakes. The same here with the Chiefs. The Chiefs, yes, the referees absolutely stunk. Yes, it sucked to watch, but just as a whole, you can't blame the refs. There was so many things the Chiefs could have done differently in this game to help them win this game, and they just didn't make the correct adjustments. So blaming this game on the refs, I don't think is a fair criticism. I think criticizing the refs is completely fair, and their missed calls and everything that they did wrong, because I feel like this year just as alone has been terrible when it comes to officiating. Maybe it's because of some of the things that they're enforcing or they're putting an emphasis on. Maybe that could be why, but just as a whole, this game itself, I don't think you can just put it on the referees. Because if we look at the Chiefs, we'll start with the defense in this game. The defense was terrible in this game. I'll be honest. The defense was really, really bad in this football game. It was not something to be desired. This looked like the defense that was playing the first few weeks of the season, the first 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season. It was that bad. Joe Burrow went 30 of 39, 446 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they literally could not stop Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase set the rookie record for most receiving yards. It was just absolutely in a single game. Like, Jamar Chase just went nuts in this game. The Chiefs corners, Charvarius Ward, Fenton, whoever was on Jamar Chase in this game, could not stop him. Jamar Chase had 11 receptions, 266 yards, averaged 24.2 yards per reception, and had 3 touchdowns. I think reading that stat line alone kind of can show why the Chiefs lost this game. The first half, he was burning them. The second half, they didn't make any adjustments. Spags made no adjustments. The defense made no adjustments. And Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow continued to throw on them and continued to just beat them down. Like, this defense, it stood no chance against Jamar Chase. Like, he was on point. Joe Burrow, like, I love this. I like the Bengals team. I almost love this Bengals team. I kind of do. Not against the Chiefs, but I respect this Bengals team. They're insanely good, insanely talented. Their talent alone beat them. Like, look at the Chiefs defense. There was that 3rd and 27, and they send, I think, an all-out blitz, and it was a one-on-one with Jamar Chase, and he ends up getting the first down. You can't blame the referees on that one. You have to blame the bad adjustments on the defense for not knowing the situation and leaving Jamar Chase where he has a chance to make a play like that. So blaming the referees for the bad defensive play, I don't think is fair. It was bad. The defense just as a whole was bad. Too many penalties, albeit, like I said, some of them not warranted to be called. Too many missed tackles. The defense was missing tackles left and right. They forgot how to tackle in this game. The pass rush looked tired, and it looked like it couldn't do anything at times. Like the pass rush could not get going for the Chiefs tonight in this game. Like the Bengals, their offensive line isn't particularly well. Like the Chiefs got a few sacks in on Joe Burrow. They got 4 of them, but it just felt at times like they couldn't get a pass rush. There was a lot of things. So blaming the refs, I don't think is fair. Giving up almost 500 yards of offense to the Bengals, I think is a pretty good indication of why you lose a game. I really do. So I think there's a lot of adjustments that they can make. Being more physical, I think, is definitely something they can do to be better next week against the Broncos. Kind of tune it, get everything. This is the final game to get everything how you want it to get right and make a full-headed steam push for the playoffs and hopefully a Super Bowl. And then that was the defense. The defense wasn't particularly well in this game. Again, not particularly well in the pass rush at times. I know 4 sacks, but it just felt like the pass rush wasn't good at times. Obviously, the secondary needs a lot of work. Like Daniel Sorensen just got beat on one of those plays. Again, don't know why he's playing in coverage. I thought we were gone and long over that. I thought we were done with him in coverage. I thought we were done with that long ago, but I guess Spags. I personally thought Daniel Sorensen was playing well the last few weeks, and then he does that. Now I'm just like, okay, we got a little bit too eager with him playing particularly well recently. Just as a whole, defensively, didn't play very well. Offensively, though, it was a very quiet second half, but again, I looked at the drive chart. The Chiefs only had 3 drives in the second half. 2 of them was a punt, and the other one was a field goal in the fourth quarter. So there wasn't many. The opportunities were scarce in the second half, very scarce. So obviously the Chiefs had to make it worth something in the second half, and they were only able to come out with 3 points, while the Bengals came out with 17 in the second half, and that's what turned this game around and allowed them to win. So offense in the second half, very, very quiet, only 3 points. But I thought the offense as a whole, especially with the situation going into this game, Orlando Brown got hurt before the game even started. He was out. Lucas Niang got injured into the game, and then they had to insert guys who don't usually play in a game, and they played really well. Like the offensive line, the makeshift offensive line, played great for the situation that they were in. Like I thought the offensive line was fantastic in this game. Like I know they were playing second, third string guys, and the offensive line played very, very good in this game. Like there's no complaints there from me whatsoever. The run game has no complaints for me. Ran for 155 total yards on the ground, which is not what the Chiefs normally do. Darrell Williams, when he was running the ball, ran the ball great. 14 carries, 88 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Like he played great when he had the ball in his hand. So the run game, again, it was good in this game. It was very good. Mahomes in the first half was fantastic. I thought Mahomes as a whole had a relatively good game. It's just, again, second half opportunities were very scarce with only 3 possessions. Mahomes went 26 of 35, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I thought he played well. I thought the offense as a whole in the first half was playing well. Again, it was another week where it didn't feel like it was one guy doing everything on offense, because you look down these charts, you had McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Byron Pringle, Blake Bell, Demarcus Robinson, Travis Kelce, Darrell Williams. They all contributed in the pass game. So it's this offense isn't just reliant on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce anymore. There's obviously other guys they can throw it to, but it just, in the second half, again, very scarce. Nothing they can really do in the second half. All they got was a field goal. But there was also missed opportunities, like again the ill-timed penalties. There was a lot of penalties in the second half, though. That was for sure. Too many penalties calling plays back when Chiefs could have went forward on some of those drives. That really cost them in the second half. There was a lot of unwarranted penalties. The Chiefs had 10 penalties in total in this game. And then, you look at things like I mentioned, the kickoff return for a touchdown called back because of a holding penalty. Tyreek Hill at the end of the first half had a chance to get them into at least field goal range. Instead of going in with 28, they could have possibly gone in with 31 or 35, but he dropped the pass, so that kind of took a lot of momentum, took a lot of juice out of the Chiefs after that. So there was many opportunities that were missed in this game. Defensively, situationally, wasn't very good. Special teams issues, again, not very good. And then opportunities on offense that they didn't capitalize on. But, I mean, credit to the Bengals, credit to Jamar Chase, credit to Joe Burrow. Those guys just decimated and demolished the Chiefs secondary. It wasn't bad. I'm not gonna sit here and blame the refs. I didn't do it for the Browns and the Packers game. I can't do it for this game because in both of those games, you look back at it, there was opportunity after opportunity for these teams, the Chiefs and the Browns, in both of those losses to do different things, and they didn't do it. I squarely put this at the feet of Spags not doing the correct adjustments, leaving Jamar Chase one-on-one, and the offense kind of staggering out and making a lot of mistakes in the second half. So there's a lot of things that can be worked up, well, a lot of things to be fixed. But again, am I worried necessarily for the playoffs? No. I think these guys will get a little bit more physical when it comes to playoff time. The offense played great in the first half. They hung 28 in the first half, so I'm not worried about the offense. So there's just a lot of things that got to get fixed. And not necessarily fixed, but tuned up for the playoffs next week. They play the Broncos in a game that doesn't mean anything to the Broncos. It kind of means something for the Chiefs seeding wise. They kind of need to win that game to stay at least in the second seed, which I believe they will be able to do. Now, if we want the 1 seed, we kind of need the Titans to lose to the Texans. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But this game as a whole, there was a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of things that can be worked on. Was it a frustrating loss? Yes. But am I particularly upset about it? No, I think it'll be all right because you got to respect the Bengals. They have a lot of talent that are going to be there for a long time, and a team that is going to be a challenge, not just for the Chiefs. Because I was saying it all week. Oh, they were only able to hang a whole bunch of yards on the Ravens. And that's not the case. Because Joe Burrow threw almost 1,000 yards against the Ravens alone this season. And then the last 2 weeks, Joe Burrow has almost put up 1,000 yards. So Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, that Bengals offense, they're playing out of their minds right now. I think the Bengals are going to be, I think the Bengals could win a playoff game this year. I really, really do. They clinched their division. I'm really happy for them. They're a team that are easy to root for. And yeah, congrats to the Bengals on beating the Chiefs. It was one heck of a football game. Wish some things were different. But at the end of the day, both of these teams had their chances, and the Bengals took the most of their opportunities. That is my Chiefs recap for Week 17 between the Chiefs and the Bengals. The Bengals won 34-31. Give me your thoughts down below of what you thought in the game, and I will see you in the next one.